Does your husband constantly excuse his mother's hurtful behavior towards you? Does he refuse to step in when she insults, criticizes, or disrespects you? Do you feel unheard, dismissed, and like you'll always come second? If so, you may not have a mother-in-law problem. You may have a husband who is trapped in codependency and family enmeshment. Hi, I'm Coach Kathleen with Phoenix Rising. If your mother-in-law says something rude, condescending, or disrespectful, and your husband just sits there without saying a word, that's a problem. Then when you ask why he didn't defend you, does he say things like, "That's just the way she is. You know how she gets. She didn't mean anything by it. She's stubborn and set in her ways. I've learned to just let it go," which implies that you should too. But those aren't explanations, they're excuses. And every excuse sends the same message to you. My mother's comfort matters more than your pain. And that feels like betrayal. Your husband should support you, protect you, and have your back, especially when the disrespect comes from his own family. Your emotional well-being should come before his mother's feelings. When you try to explain how her behavior is damaging your marriage, does he turn it around on you? Maybe he tells you, "You're too sensitive," or "You're overreacting. You can't take a joke. You're causing drama. She's only trying to help." The problem isn't that you see things differently. The problem is that he has been conditioned since childhood to interpret his mother's behavior through the lens of loyalty and obligation instead of reality. He isn't experiencing what you experience. He hears her words through decades of conditioning, but you experience the results. You experience the constant criticism, the passive-aggressive comments, the unsolicited advice that implies you're failing as a wife or mother, the boundary violations, the guilt trips, the manipulation. And every time you speak up, somehow you're the one blamed for upsetting everyone. And over time, you begin to feel invisible, like your voice doesn't matter, like you'll always come second to his mother. That's because in an enmeshed family, his mother's emotional needs became his responsibility long before he ever met you. To him, this behavior feels normal. He grew up believing it was his job to keep her happy, to avoid upsetting her, and prevent her emotional outbursts. If saying yes kept the peace and saying no brought guilt, anger, tears, or rejection, he learned very quickly that compliance was safer. That survival strategy became automatic. What feels manipulative and controlling to you simply feels familiar to him. And because of that, he doesn't question the dysfunction. In fact, he may expect you to adapt the same way he did. He wants you to go along to get along. But here's the reality. If he ever tried to separate emotionally from his mother or establish healthy boundaries, she likely responded with guilt, disappointment, tears, anger, or accusations like, "You're abandoning me. You're breaking my heart. After everything I've done for you, how can you treat me like this?" So today, standing up to his mother doesn't just feel uncomfortable, it feels terrifying. Acknowledging that she's the problem would require him to challenge beliefs he has carried his entire life. That's incredibly difficult. Which is why denial often feels emotionally safer than change. If your husband refuses to acknowledge that his mother's behavior is damaging your marriage, there's a very good chance codependency and enmeshment are driving his responses. You cannot force him to see what he's not ready to see. The harder you push, the more likely he is to defend her. So what can you do? First, recognize this is dysfunction, not normal family closeness. Second, trust yourself. Your feelings are valid. What you're experiencing is real. You are not crazy. Third, stop looking to his family for validation, for them to like you. They're often part of the same dysfunctional system and have been conditioned to minimize, excuse, or deny unhealthy behavior. Just because they dismiss your reality doesn't make it any less true. Accept that you cannot change them. You can only change how much access they have to you. Healthy boundaries are not punishment. They are protection. You are allowed to limit contact to people who aren't healthy for you. You are allowed to leave when you're disrespected. You are allowed to say no. If every visit results in criticism or emotional abuse, you don't have to keep showing up. If your husband wants to spend time with his family, that's his choice. You are not required to participate in behavior that harms your mental and emotional health. Every time you calmly remove yourself from disrespect, you're teaching people how you expect to be treated. Most importantly, remember this: your worth is not determined by your mother-in-law's opinion of you. Her criticism says far more about her need for control than it does about your value. Protect your peace. Strengthen your own sense of identity. Set healthy boundaries. And remember, you can't control other people, but you can absolutely control who gets access to you. Want to learn more and discover your path to healing? Take our 3-minute quiz by clicking the link in the description or comments below.